Welcome in, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for this unique exploration into the source material.
Yeah, we have a really fascinating one lined up today.
We really do. So to give you all an overview, we are digging into a grounding document today. It's a biographical and philosophical text titled The Man Who Follows the Road.
Right.
And it basically outlines the ethos of Pete Brisco and, the GT legacy group. And our mission for today's exploration is to figure out how someone takes this raw, unfiltered curiosity and, well, transforms it into a structured, lasting legacy.
All without losing their free spirit, which is the really hard part.
Exactly. So where do we even begin with this?
Well, I want to ask you, listening to just reflect on your own life path for a second, are you, the type of person who plans out the exact destination before you even take a step? Or do you just sort of start walking to see where the road takes you?
I mean, I know I'm definitely a planner, but if you are that second type, the one who just starts walking, you are absolutely going to see yourself in Pete's early mindset.
Oh, 100%.
Because the text describes him as an adventurer right out of the gate. But we aren't talking about, like, mountain climbing or extreme sports.
No, not at all.
Right. His thrill comes purely from curiosity. Like, he's the kind of guy who spots a faint light in the distance and just instinctively says, let's go see what that is.
And that one instinct radically changed his whole trajectory. Because just a few years ago, the document notes, Pete wasn't even someone who read or wrote books.
Wait, really? He didn't read at all?
Nope, that's what the source says. But that raw spark of curiosity ended up culminating in him authoring 6 books.
Wow.
Yeah, ending with book 6, which is fittingly titled, The Road That Got Me Here.
That is quite the pivot. But the text makes a crucial distinction here, though. The books aren't actually the real story.
Right, they're almost just a byproduct.
Exactly. The real story is this person discovering that he actually had something worth saying, and it's entirely because he was totally comfortable not knowing everything.
Yeah, he didn't have that ego of needing to be the smartest guy in the room.
So he prefers, honest investigation over pretending to be an expert. He's perfectly willing to test things out, experiment, get things wrong, and then just correct course and learn.
Yeah, which is rare.
Okay, let's unpack this, because it reminds me of, a scientist. Like a scientist who actually gets excited when an experiment completely fails.
Oh, that's a really great way to put it.
Because to them, a failure just means they discovered a new variable, right? They aren't crushed by it, they're energized by it.
What's fascinating here is that Pete's greatest strength isn't his eventual success. It's actually his utter lack of ego right at the starting line.
Oh, I like that.
When you remove the pressure to look like you already have all the answers, your capacity to absorb new information just grows exponentially. And that's a trait you listening can immediately apply to your own learning journey.
That is so true. But unchecked curiosity can also be a little dangerous.
It really can be.
Because having established this intense desire to explore, we logically have to look at why he isn't just aimlessly wandering. If you have a mind that sees 10 interesting roads where everyone else just sees one, you need discernment.
Because you simply can't walk down 10 roads at once.
Right. And not everything interesting actually deserves your time. Right. Not everything possible belongs in the mission.
Exactly, which is why survival for a free spirit actually requires a grounding mechanism. The text calls this his compass.
And the compass is what prevents the aimless wandering.
Yes. Without a filter, freedom is just chaos. This compass is defined as grace and truth, authenticity, and what they call the GT code of ethos.
And just to clarify, GT stands for grace and truth, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And the specific operational process they use to enact this is called the GT way, which is test, verify, approve, then share.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting, because to me this sounds like a huge contradiction.
How so?
Well, Pete is this free spirit, right? But he has willingly created this strict governance for himself. He values freedom, but fully embraces responsibility. Doesn't creating strict rules and constantly asking, does this reflect who we are, doesn't that usually just kill the vibe of a free spirit?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, that tension isn't a flaw at all. It's the engine of the entire journey.
Okay, explain that a bit more.
Structure doesn't cage a free spirit. It ensures that the roads they choose to explore actually lead somewhere meaningful. Because if you just follow every impulse, it usually ends in burnout.
Oh, wow, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so the G2A testing, verifying, approving, and then sharing it acts as a track, not a cage.
And once that curiosity goes through that structured compass, the natural result is the creation of something lasting, We move from this internal process to the external result, which is legacy.
Right. He transitions from just being an adventurer to becoming a steward.
A steward, yes. He stops building things just so they exist and starts wanting them to mean something, to serve a real purpose and outlast the moment.
There's this incredible quote in the text that captures this perfectly. It says, "Idea is easy. Meaning is the work. Legacy is the result."
Man, idea's easy, meaning is the work. That hits hard.
It really does. And legacy in this context isn't defined as fame at all. It's tied to the motto for GT Bridging Generations, which is one voice, one vision, one legacy.
So it's about leaving behind something genuinely meaningful.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean? Like, for you listening right now, what stands out to you in your own life? Are you building things just to be busy, or are you actually doing the hard work of making them mean something?
That is the ultimate check-in question. And to see what that looks like in practice, the document gives us this definitive visual portrait of Pete.
Okay, lay it out for us.
So he isn't like standing triumphantly in front of his accomplishments. He's not pausing behind some massive CEO's desk.
Right.
Instead, he is sitting beside an open window, looking at a road that just disappears along the horizon. And all the books, all the past work, it's all behind him.
That is such a striking image.
And this raises an important question, because it shows that accomplishing a huge goal, like writing 6 books or building a legacy group, it doesn't extinguish your curiosity.
It doesn't mean you're just done.
No, he is still looking out that window for the next light in the distance. He is still ready to say, "That's interesting. Let's go take a look."
I absolutely love that visual. So just to kind of bring this all together, we've been exploring the journey of a free spirit with a compass.
Yeah, someone who never really set out to be an author or a steward.
Right. He just kept following the road, applying that filter of grace and truth until the road itself actually became the story.
And for anyone listening who feels overwhelmed by a world of endless distractions, I would highly encourage adopting the GT way.
Oh, for sure.
Testing an idea, verifying it,
Yeah.
approving it, and only then sharing it. It's such a practical tool to navigate your own daily information overload without losing your innate curiosity.
Totally. And, we are so conditioned to treat our goals as these final destinations. We plan the route, we check the boxes, and expect a definitive end.
We really do.
But if, as this document suggests, the road itself is the story, what happens when you finally reach a destination you thought was the very end, only to realize it's just another open window to look out of?